Our destiny, the afterlife, and what lies beyond the earthly realm is a question that has occupied mankind ever since our ability to contemplate our own mortality. But while the prospect of walking the righteous path, surrendering one's soul to otherworldly entities for eternal bliss and salvation might seem like divine tranquility, our greedy desire for power and exploitation could easily lead us astray and damn us forever to a realm where the pain is endless and the suffering incomprehensible. Experimentation, direct contact, and even close proximity to the corrupted area within the Louisiana bayous would prove to have negative consequences that reach far beyond what anyone could have ever predicted. While the source is uncertain, the outcome is well known, and the direct consequences of overexposure to the paranormal would be labeled as damnation by those closest to it. While initially without symptoms, an inexperienced hunter might find themselves oblivious to the consequences of interacting with the other side. However, any seasoned veteran of the bayous will tell you that every action has a consequence, and meddling with powers beyond our realm and understanding will not only cost you a part of your soul, it will engulf you in eternal darkness and swallow you whole, if you let it. The initial side effects of damnation might not have been physically or mentally visible until the affected had reached an active state of rotting decay, where both the mind and body would slowly crumble. However, visible symptoms would become immediately apparent through bodily deformation, as cancer-like tumors would form underneath the skin. The victim would turn pale, and the smell of decay would saturate them as they would lose human emotion and mannerism while their soul was slowly consumed by darkness. While it remains unclear how long a hunter could resist the corruption and stagnate damnation, it seems to have been affected by many factors such as physical strength, mental resolve, fortitude and perseverance, and even something as simple as one's determination. It also remains uncertain exactly what causes damnation in hunters, whether it is the very presence of the sculptor itself, the corrupting touch of the infected within the bayous, the merging of hunter and the other side through interaction with the active fissures, the consumption of the contaminated serums, a curse by a higher power, or perhaps something different entirely. But no matter what, while the destiny of a damned hunter's soul is unknown, the end result of damnation in our world would always be the same. Dr. Huff Jones, the director of the AHA, as well as many of his subordinates, believed that the damnation was a sign that God had abandoned them and left them to fight the demons by themselves. But it would seem that in times of dire need, salvation would appear in the strangest of places, for within the sculptor's own world of corruption and decay, a single spark of hope would reveal itself to the hunters. In a letter to his association, Dr. Huff Jones told the story of a hunter whose name had been lost decades ago, who had found a source of salvation within the sculptor's own world. Dr. Huff Jones urged any hunter that showed or felt symptoms of impending damnation to venture into the bayous and find this source, not only to cure themselves of the corruption's rotting grasp on their soul, but also for the potential of bringing back this rejuvenating energy to be used in research and utilized by the organization itself. This newly discovered source was labeled as rifts. The rifts, unlike the fissures or clues that the active bounty hunters within the bayous were chasing, were also tears in the fabric between our world and the sculptors, where dark energy from the other side would leak into our realm. However, contrary to the clues, which radiated with immense negative and dark energy, eating away at the hunter's soul, corrupting their very essence with every interaction, the rifts were booming with positive energy. Essentially, the rifts and the clues were polar opposites of one another. Each rift contained the potential to remedy some of the damage caused by the curse or corruption that had eaten away at the affected hunter, making the rifts an irresistible possibility for any individual looking to find the closest thing a human would get to actual salvation in our world. However, one rift by itself wouldn't be enough to save a hunter from damnation. Instead, a pool of energy from 4 rifts would have to be accumulated and merged to activate what was known as the Wellspring, a finite well of exceptionally pure energy which could be used to cure any soul of the corrupting effects of darkness. Once activated, the hunter would slowly siphon the energy from the pool of the Wellspring. However, the AHA weren't the only chapter familiar with the benefits of the Wellspring, meaning that this initiation would call upon every other cursed hunter within the area, who would converge on the initiator with murderous intentions, hoping to save their own soul, as the pool of the Wellspring contained only enough energy for a single hunter. It would seem that this energy could easily be stolen by simply killing the initiator. This ironically led to the rejuvenating Wellsprings becoming bloody killing grounds where the damned hunters would fight for the right to wield this otherworldly energy. And while the energy released was immensely pure and remedial, the Wellspring itself was highly volatile, its integrity slowly being compromised with every second it remained open. As the final drop of energy left the Wellspring, a portal would open, giving the wielder just enough time to escape before the portal would collapse and trigger a cataclysmic event that would kill anything else in the area, leaving nothing behind but the sole survivor. Wielding the very essence of the Wellspring, the hunter would now have the ability to rid themselves entirely of the corruption, and through this, save themselves from damnation. Having been on the edge of being consumed by a terminal illness, the hunter was now given a second chance at life, free to do whatever they wanted. However, as history shows, most of these hunters, addicted to the thrill of the chase, the urge for occult power, and the appetite for destruction, didn't abandon darkness or leave the bayous. On the contrary, the Wellspring itself now seemed to provide them with a possibility to continue their ways within the hunting grounds, leaving them stuck in a perpetual cycle of killing, corruption, and restoration, where they would spend the rest of their lives until meeting their inevitable demise. Hey there, Hazmat here. If you're new to the channel, I have a ton of other videos related to the lore about Hunt Showdown. They're all available in a playlist right here. As always, a big thanks goes out to the Hunters Lounge on Patreon, who helps me decide on future content and which you can join for a single $1 a month. Link is in the description below. A big thanks to Tip and Rexley from the Hunt Showdown Discord for always helping me with the story behind the video. And thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.